Hello and welcome to this episode of Backstage with Boria with somebody who I consider a friend of mine. And by the way, let me set the stage. We are not here to do a blame game. We are not here to create a controversy. We are not here to blame any one particular side at all. The whole effort is to raise awareness and collective voice for Indian football and support Indian football, to understand what the players are going through. हमारे players किस कैसे हम लोग उनको कैसे देखेंगे? I mean, अगर matches नहीं हो रहे हैं, अगर game नहीं हो रहे हैं, तो how will the players earn their living, their livelihood? And why only players? Coaches, groundsmen, ground staff, medical facilities, teams, ये सारे चीजें लेके आज आई विल स्पीक टू गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू, India's best by quite a distance, captain of India as well. Gurpreet, I have not seen a situation like this. No sport, whether it is in any part of the country. I've seen the video that all of you have put out. How are you kind of dealing with this as a person?
First of all, good evening, sir, for inviting me. Thank you, and wishing not only you but whoever watches this a very happy New Year. And coming to your question, I mean, everyone knows it's a grim situation right now, and as a player, there are not many things that you can do. But like you said, creating awareness is something that is in our power. So that's what we tried to do with a video yesterday, because we were sitting on the sidelines and trying to listen to the news and see कि अब आ जाएगा कुछ, अब आ जाएगा कुछ, give it one more day, give it one more day. And I feel really bad and really sad for whoever's involved in Indian football in any capacity. In the domestic season, like you said, groundsmen, medical staff, जो मतलब लोग हमारी हेल्प करते हैं डे टू डे बेसिस, वो सबकी लाइफ एकदम रुक गई है because of the situation that we are in. And the players making this video was not only for just the players, but it's for the whole ecosystem, because we understand as players that we have certain influence and certain voice, and we should use that time to time to bring awareness to issues that are, I think, unprecedented, in my opinion.
Gurpreet, देखिए, you are a senior pro, at least with this kind of background, in the sense आपने इतना साल खेला हुआ है, and I want to be blunt here. I mean, maybe you will manage, or Sandesh will manage, Sunil will manage, people of your level will manage to tide over this situation. But what about a youngster? Yeah, my colleague Rahul Giri was speaking to your colleague Amrinder Singh, and he said a lot of players are now having to do 9 to 5 jobs to meet ends. उनका livelihood में impact आ गया है. वो सोच रहे हैं कि हमारा होगा क्या आगे. When I see a Gurpreet Singh, I still see कि अच्छा चलो आप इंडिया के बाहर जाके भी खेल लोगे, या आप तो मैनेज कर लोगे अगर एक साल नहीं हुआ. But what about these youngsters? I'm sure you've been speaking to them in your own club, also in the fraternity. Can you give me a sense of how they are dealing with this situation?
Well, I mean, it's not that easy for even us. For example, I mean, we might be in a different situation comparing to a young footballer who signed his new contract just now. We've played for 15 years, and we have a substantial or sustainable environment around us to, help us in times like this, to soften the blow, let's say that. But मतलब जो youngster अभी जिसने contract sign किया था, or the people who just turned professional, and the kids who are aspiring to be football players, जो अपने माँ बाप से झगड़ के लड़ के, they want to play football, they want to pursue this as a career. All of those people, I can't even imagine what they must be going through, because it's a very, very hard, very difficult situation. And like I said, we need to not only think about us as players, but all the other people who are involved in this game, other than the players, from coaches to surround support staff, everyone.
तो आप किसी से इन लोगों से आई एम श्योर आपका बात होता रहता है। मैं संदेश से बात कर रहा था, ही वाज टेलिंग मी द सेम कि बोरियाला देखो, गोवा गोवा में वो जो ग्राउंड्समैन जिनका बच्चा स्कूल जाता है इस पैसे से, उनके बारे में भी आपको सोचना पड़ेगा। दैट इज द लार्जर इकोसिस्टम। आई एम श्योर पीपल यू हैव बीन स्पीकिंग टू इन योर इमीडिएट एनवायरनमेंट, कैन यू गिव मी a sense what and how they are dealing with it, and how you've been trying to counsel them, or what is going on? I'm sure there are WhatsApp groups and stuff. What is going on in these groups?
See, regarding, I mean, players, I can say that जो young players हैं, because they haven't been through situations like this, or they don't know the scale of the situation. Maybe they are not fully informed about कि क्या हो रहा है, and that goes with a lot of the people who are involved in the day-to-day also, from the masseuse till the kitman to the bus driver. मतलब ये लोगों को, कईयों को, they don't understand how big the problem is. So they don't see it as what we see it as. So उनको समझाना कि उनको बताना कि how bad it is maybe sometimes not the best thing to do, because then a person whose entire life, whose household is being operated on the salary that is given, अगर वो रुक जाएगी और उसको मैं अगर बोलूंगा कि यार कुछ दिख नहीं रहा आगे, एंड कुछ नहीं होने वाला है या ऐसे कुछ अगर मैं उसको बताऊंगा, then it will be very detrimental and very very sad for their motivation as well. So we just try to keep them uplifted and tell them that hopefully something comes out, and everyone is working on it. All the parties involved, especially the clubs involved, have been pushing for it. So it's hard to explain to people who don't really understand the situation on a full scale basis.
यार ये सिचुएशन में आप प्रैक्टिस में, आपसे जब 2-3 दिन से बात हो रहा है, आप ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हो, डू यू फील द मोटिवेशन टू कीप गोइंग ऑन एंड ट्रेनिंग? बिकॉज when you don't have anything in sight, league कब होगा कि नहीं होगा, there are no matches in sight, you have to turn up day in day out, because otherwise the skill set will go, the fitness will go, all of your discipline will go for a toss. How do you keep yourself motivated and keep training in situations like this?
It's very hard, to be honest. I mean, some days I don't feel the motivation. Some days मतलब हम लोग ग्राउंड पे जाते हैं तो ऐसे it feels like why are we here, because there is nothing we are working towards. और हम लोग किसके लिए अपने आप को इतना मतलब why you're pushing yourself too much. But then again, as professionals, हमें सिर्फ यही चीज एक आती है. Recently I gave an interview before that I don't have an MBA, I don't have a doctorate. Maybe a physio who's studied and become a physio, he can go and work somewhere else. But for us, we only know how to play football. We only know how to train. And in these years of our career, when you're just, reaching the peak of it, you don't think about the life after football. Maybe that's a discussion that you think of, when you're in the later stages of your career, then you start doing coaching badges or whatever that you plan to do with your family. But, not at this stage when things are just about to take off, or they are very good right now, and then suddenly सब कुछ चले जाता है, बहुत मुश्किल होती है. And then to think that, okay, even if the season happens, like how are we supposed to prepare for it? Is it going to be matches every 2-3 days, or what is it going to be? I mean, how do we prepare our bodies to tackle such a situation? Because एक बात पेपर पे लिख देना और बोल देना कि हाँ लीग होगी और it'll be in this format. To prepare players to that extent who have not played any competition in the last, let's say, 8-9 months, it's a very difficult task. It's not an easy task. So
यही सवाल था
तभी
यार.
हम लोग ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं, तभी मैं थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा कभी जिम जा रहा हूँ, कभी रिहैब जा रहा हूँ, कुछ ना कुछ. बिकॉज अगर किसी भी दिन बोल दिया कि हाँ अभी स्टार्ट होगा, then at least we are somewhat prepared. So there is a caveat to that.
यही सवाल था, क्योंकि देखो अगर परफॉर्मेंस ठीक नहीं होता है, मान लो नेशनल टीम का भी, हम लोग तो आके प्लेयर्स को गाली दे देंगे कि यार क्या हो रहा है, इसके साथ आप नहीं जीत रहे हो, उसके साथ आप नहीं जीत रहे हो। हम लोग तो ये नहीं सोचेंगे कि यार मेंटली व्हाट दीज प्लेयर्स हैव गॉन थ्रू। दे हैव नॉट इवन प्लेड अ सिंगल मैच इन द लास्ट वॉट एवर 6 months, 7 months. They've not even had the time to train. Mentally, what they're going through, they don't know what their monies are like, what their livelihoods are like, how will their families go through this situation. None of this will be there. All we will see is, acha, on paper, India has not been able to beat Afghanistan, and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, you are to be castigated. Sunil Chhetri, you are rubbish. यही तो हम लोग बोलेंगे। आई मीन nobody will understand the perspective of the player and what has gone through. Do you feel there is, I mean, is it?
Yeah, I mean, sorry to cut you, but I do read a lot of things that people put out, and they say that, oh yeah, I mean foreigner लोग बाहर जा रहे हैं, हम लोग क्यों नहीं बाहर जा सकते ये
Correct.
situation में, like do you even like it's I mean there's no point in going in a debate with someone who's never kicked a ball in his life or her life, and tell them how difficult it is for an Indian passport holder or an Indian player to go outside India and play. Sorry to sorry
While
to be honest with everyone. No one from Europe is looking at India and saying that I want a player from there. If I'll call my agent and say that I want to go to this and this club outside, या मेरे को club लेके दो बाहर. You think it's gonna happen like this? No one knows who's good for you. I have to go there, maybe give a trial, show them who I am, if I have the capability or the potential that they are looking for, and then they might think कि हाँ ठीक है, we might take a chance. Why would they replace their for example 18-year-old young Norwegian kid in the Norway league? Then मतलब उसको मेरे से replace करेंगे an Indian guy who's taking a foreign spot. So there are many avenues to things like this. So people who say that okay, yeah, go outside and play, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of time and commitment. So for us Indian players, I think the people who can move out, they should look at it. But like we have to fight for a league, for our own league.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
how is this a solution that you go out of your country and say, oh, you know what,
अगर
we've
मतलब
given
मैं
up on our own league and let's go out? How
अगर
is
मैं
that a
किसी को
solution?
बोलता हूँ फॉर एग्जांपल जो जो काम करता है कोई कंपनी में, फॉर एग्जांपल दे आर अ इंजीनियर और दे आर वर्किंग इन द आईटी एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट, एंड कल उनको बोलते हैं कि इंडिया में जितनी भी सारी आईटी कंपनीज हैं वो सारी बंद होने वाली है, ठीक है, तो तुम जाओ बाहर, बाहर जाके नौकरी लो। मैं भी ट्वीट डाल देता हूँ कि तुम बाहर लो ना नौकरी, यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो, इंडिया की कोई आईटी कंपनी में थोड़ी काम करना है। It's not like today Gurpreet Singh is going to say that okay, yeah, BFC is not going to work out, so let's go somewhere else in India. 13 other clubs are going through the same situation. So it's not easy for players in this situation. It's just that we have to be very patient, very calm, and see what is going on, and time to time create awareness to the situation and say that hey, the Indian sports scenario deserves the Indian league. We can't have a whole season without a league. That is, like you said, Sandesh, Gurpreet, Sunil, in लोग का तो चल जाएगा, but what about the players who signed the new contracts for the first time being a professional? What about that 16-year-old kid who saw Sunil Chhetri meeting Messi and wants to be a football player? So you need to think about all those people, and forget even that. Think about the women's team, the under 17 boys.
I was about to ask you the women's thing
You know,
question as well.
like they are on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup. How can we not provide that platform to them? Like, how can, in our good senses, we take away from them? Ki yaar, we risk getting a ban and it's okay. I think getting a ban means everyone gets
Of
banned.
course, of course, of course.
So we should really keep our thoughts aside and look at the solution that is going to bring all these people into playing football. मेरा छोड़ो कोई बात नहीं, गुरप्रीत सिंह को भूल जा, but think about Sweetie who's playing in East Bengal and she's going to represent India. ठीक है, think about all those players who are on the verge of playing the Asian Cup soon. and they need something. So we need to think about all those people. Don't think about us old fossil fuels. Think about the new electric vehicle cars, the new players who are coming up. They need a platform.
तो प्लीज हम लोग मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में इतना बात करते हैं, आई मीन इस सिचुएशन में प्लेयर्स का मेंटल हेल्थ, यार मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता। अगर आप मेरे से आके आज बोलो बोरियादार रेड स्पोर्ट्स कल बंद, आप जाके बाहर नौकरी ढूंढ लो या नया कंपनी बना दो, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यार।
Yeah, I mean, sir, like it's a different thing, na? Like, for example, if you're a journalist, right, and if your channel closes or your company shuts, there are 100 other channels and 100 other people who are doing the same thing and might hire you. In India, the whole ecosystem is shut, so it's not like there are 15 other clubs who are looking for players. Like, for example, a club shuts. Jaise, unfortunately, in the past, Mahindra's, Pune FC, plenty of example. DSK, Shivajans, and all these clubs, which unfortunately they had to shut shop. The players eventually went and joined other clubs and stuff like that. Now there are 13, 14 clubs together who are on the verge of maybe compete or maybe not competing. So how do you manage such a big situation of players who are supposed to play football?
लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
मार्च में भी मैचेस है, मार्च में भी इंडियन टीम के मैचेस है। सो पीपल हमारा लास्ट गेम नवंबर में था बांग्लादेश के,
जी,
राइट, एंड नाउ वी अगेन हैव मैचेस इन मार्च. We'll prepare somewhat and then we'll play. Hopefully we win. What if we don't win? So some इधर उधर रिजल्ट आएगा, फिर मतलब प्रॉब्लम उधर ही आएगी कि हम लोग अच्छे नहीं है, हम लोग ये नहीं है, हम लोग वो नहीं है. क्या हम लोग प्लेयर्स को रेडी करने के लिए वो चीज दे रहे हैं जो चाहिए? वही सोचनी चाहिए सबसे पहले.
ये लास्ट सवाल गुरप्रीत, आई मीन क्या आशा है, आई मीन आप लोगों का ग्रुप में, do you still feel hope? Because all of us, I mean, in my book, it's always half full rather than half empty. All of us, and we are doing this interview because we both believe that we can make change. That's why we are doing this. Are you do you pass on the same message to the youngsters that there has to be light at the end of the tunnel?
I'm a very optimistic person like that, and I know for a fact that India is a sporting country, and we will try our best. I know the clubs are doing their bit. I know the federation is doing their bit. Everyone is trying their best to make this happen, because we cannot be a country where a league didn't happen for one season, because the ripple effect of that is not going to be seen now this year. It'll be seen next 10 years when players will struggle, new players coming up will struggle, क्योंकि कोई पेरेंट अपने बच्चे को नहीं बोलेगा कि हाँ कोई बात नहीं बन जाओ फुटबॉलर. सबसे बड़ा यही हम लोग को सिचुएशन ओवरकम करना है कि जहां अभी पिछले 10 साल में 15 साल में बच्चे खेलने शुरू कर रहे थे, parents were happy as well, lot of kids playing football, watching football, everything happening. But now when parents will send their kids to academies and stuff like that, and they will ask like, what's the future, what's the pathway? If there is no pathway, what are we going to say to these kids who have a dream to play football? That's what we need to think about. Forget about Gurpreet, forget about Sandesh, forget about Sunil Khetri. Think about these kids who just want to play football and about to fight with their family for it. What are we gonna say to those families कि सर हमारे पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है, आप अपने बच्चे को कुछ और करवा लो.
I've interviewed Gurpreet many times in my life, in my career. This has been one of the most, how do I put it, depressing and disturbing interviews. But I also think this is one of the most important interviews because we need to raise voice. Like he said, he's optimistic, so am I. It's important that each one of us play our part. He as a player, I am as a journalist. Each one, if you are a fan, support Indian football. Don't say go and play outside. That's not the solution. The solution is we should have our own league. India is a country that is hosting the Commonwealth Games, will host the Olympic Games. We are hosting a very successful cricket league, a shooting league, multiple other leagues, a kabaddi league, and we cannot not host our own football league. The answer is not Gurpreet Sandhu go outside of India. The answer is Gurpreet Sandhu deservedly gets to play the league in India. I'll end there, Gurpreet. All I will say is I hope for the best. I hope you get more power, more strength, more resilience, more courage, inner courage to come out of this. And all I will say is we will back you to the hilt. We will back every player to the hilt and keep supporting Indian football. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, sir. Take care.